Hi,
Hi.
we are Caleb and Linda from Bamboo and Backpacks, and this is our Eco Travel Chats series.
Yes, and this time we spoke with Vivien and Aaron from the Dharma Trails. Vivien and Aaron are originally from Australia, but when we spoke to them, they were in Grenada, and they've been really active in the nationwide Clean Up Grenada movement. So we're going to get right to it, and they're going to share with us everything they've been doing there.
Can you tell us a little bit about your story of the Dharma Trails, how you got to the point that you are, and how it all started?
Sure. Yeah, I'll start. So I'm Aaron, and this is Vivien, and so we're the Dharma Trails. Yeah, we're currently living in the beautiful island of Grenada in the Caribbean. So we've been doing this now for the last few years.
2 years.
Back and forth between here, Australia,
The US Virgin
the
Islands.
US Virgin Islands, some other areas around the Caribbean. And it all kind of started a couple of years ago when we decided to go traveling, but not in the traditional sense. So we'd both actually done quite a lot of travels before. So myself, I've been to something like, I don't know, nearly 70 countries, and Viv's done something like nearly 30-something countries, 30-something, 40 countries.
Wow.
So yeah, we wanted to do something that was travel related, but not necessarily like, go out and fast paced. We really wanted to slow down. And so we came across house sitting, which is kind of how that started. And we kind of looked at a globe and decided that we wanted to be somewhere in the Caribbean. And so we just looked for places in the Caribbean, and we were super lucky because we found like two, like back to back, that basically took us through most of the year.
And we started our blog because, we're both passionate about sustainability, and we just wanted to inspire people to travel in a more eco-friendly way. And so that's where the blog sort of started from.
Yeah. And so I'd done like a little bit of writing before, and Viv grew up, her father's a photographer. So we kind of combined our efforts of photography and writing, and I know creating a blog was just kind of the next sort of logical step of how we could combine our efforts. And that's kind of how it all started. And then we did the sustainable thing, really. Came from our trip to Jamaica. Okay, so with our sort of combined efforts of the writing and the photography, we decided to make a blog. And then we've initially just looked at doing like a travel blog, but the sustainability really came from one of our first destinations, which was Jamaica.
Yeah, so we were really expecting Jamaica. You think of jungle, beautiful beaches, waterfalls, and when we got there, it was all of that, except there was a lot of plastic trash everywhere. So the beaches, it was just, a lot of them were just covered in plastic pollution, and it was quite a shock for us. And that's where we decided
we'll start documenting it, because I mean, beforehand, when we traveled to all these places, say we would have gone to Jamaica before and maybe seen it, but not, because we weren't documenting the kind of detail that you do when you want to do a travel blog, that you're really picking up all these details. And then as we got further and further and saw more and more, we just started noticing more and more and more pollution and trash, and then that's basically how it started. So then, instead of writing just about the beautiful beaches, we wrote about the beautiful beaches covered in plastic, and then we started writing about
how to minimize your plastic on the road,
how to change your ways to reduce plastic, and then it just kind of snowballed from there.
So I was just
so
curious
the Dharma
about
Trails.
the name.
Okay, so the name, the Dharma Trails, came from, well, it was inspired by my favorite book, which is The Dharma Bums by Jack Kerouac. And I don't know if you're familiar with Jack Kerouac, but he's he's like a famous author from like the 1950s who wrote the book On the Road. And so at the time, like back in the 50s, it was pretty unconventional for people to like quit their job and sort of choose to live like a hobo, they called it. And so anyway, through the book, he talked about his story of hitchhiking his way down to Mexico, and he met some Buddhist monk down there, and the Buddhist guy started teaching him about the ways of, the Buddhist life and the meaning of life, and that everything comes from inside. And so he kind of talked about this word Dharma, which really is just a Buddhist terminology for
it's like your intrinsic nature, or like following your purpose in life.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
I
will check that book.
Yeah. And then so as we developed the blog and started focusing more on sustainable things, and that kind of became our purpose in life. So it just kind of tied in nicely with that. Yeah.
Nice. That's really cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's amazing. I will check that book and author.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
So we saw that you do a lot of beach cleanups. You document them. How long have you been doing it, and how does it impact your daily life?
So we started doing them in the US Virgin Islands. So again, another beautiful Caribbean island, but a lot of the beaches were covered in trash. So it really started there. And then here in Grenada, I guess we started focusing on it more and doing more regular cleanups. And so we've
and it kind of tied in with the house sitting too, because we were looking after dogs. And that really sort of drove us to do daily beach walks. And so we just happened to be on the beach every morning anyway. And so, I mean, we were there, we brought like some bags with us, and we just slowly start picking up. And then as we go, we found more and more things and became more and more interesting. And so we started sharing it, and more people were supportive of it. And it's kind of gotten to the point now where we're organizing like a full month
countrywide
cleanup here in Grenada.
Really?
Wow, that's amazing.
That's amazing.
So we've teamed up with True Blue Bay Resort.
It's a local like eco hotel resort here on the island.
Yeah.
And then also, like, we've had a lot of people message us previously wanting to get involved in our cleanup. So that's where we just decided, let's do, a month-long cleanup here on the island.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And get everyone involved.
Yeah. So now there's like a whole bunch of different businesses, like local businesses, that are sponsoring the events. We're actually going to be on the local radio here.
Wow, congratulations.
Tomorrow to try and encourage more people to join the next one, which will be on like the biggest tourist beach next weekend. And
that's
so
fantastic.
it's just kind of it just keeps growing, and more people are interested, and like the message just is getting further and further spread, which is kind of awesome.
We've also got there's a few dive companies here on the island, and they're also sponsoring underwater cleanups. So
cool.
Wow,
I'm really curious to see
massive.
what comes out from that.
So there's a big university here on the island with something like 8,000 medical students, I think. So we get last few days, the last couple of cleanups, we had quite a lot of the students come down, because they're even though they come internationally, they see what we're doing, and they
want to get involved
and want to help. So we got quite a lot of them doing the dives. But then we also had a lot of locals come and join the cleanups too, which was really awesome, because it's something that they traditionally haven't really done here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And what's their approach, the locals, when they come and they meet you and they see that you're doing these beach cleanups and they join you? How that impacts them or you? How is that relationship?
It's very differing. Like, it depends who it is. But we had this, Aaron spoke to this Grenadian teacher at our last cleanup, and it was really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was he saying?
So it's like a secondary school teacher, and he came to one of the cleanups, and he basically said afterwards that it had, quote, changed his life.
Wow.
Really?
That's amazing.
Yeah, I think a lot of the people don't realize just how bad it's gotten here, maybe because they grew up here and they've seen the changes like happening slowly, whereas for us coming from internationally, before we got here we had this picture of these beautiful Caribbean beaches in our head, and when we actually got here and we saw the reality, it was like a real shock, and that's kind of triggered us to do this, whereas I think the local people have seen it happen so gradually that they've been so accustomed to it. But the response has been really, really great, and we had like school kids down at the last one, and they were really getting involved, which has been awesome. So
that's so cool. It's definitely one of the benefits of traveling slowly. It gives you the opportunity to make these connections and to really make a difference in a place. And it's really awesome that you've been able to encourage so many people to take part or to make changes and to sponsor huge events that are going to keep improving the country and making it better. It's really inspiring. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. We definitely have a connection to Grenada.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of inspiration, so how do you think is the best way to inspire people to make these kinds of changes, whether it's in their daily life or in the way that they travel? How is best to inspire people to live a bit greener?
I think it's really connection. Like, once you have connection to it, or you see the plastic pollution firsthand, it really helps to inspire that change. So that, and also just changing one thing at a time. So don't go huge, because then it might not be sustainable. Maybe next time you go shopping you need some more beauty products, choose some natural alternatives or plastic-free alternatives. When you go to the grocery store, like, buy a reusable bag and then just start using that. Just make small steps in your life.
Yeah, it's really that connection, I think, too. Like the high school teacher, he said something along the lines of, like when he goes to the shop and he gets given like one plastic bag, it's just one bag. But then when he came down to the beach and saw like hundreds of plastic bags, that's when the impact really clicks. So you have to have that physical connection to really go and see it for yourself. So I mean, it doesn't have to be a beautiful Caribbean beach. It's nice if it is, but I mean, I think even if you're living in I don't know, a city somewhere, like you can walk to like a park or like a lake, or even like in a desert, like go out into the desert and you see like pieces of plastic bag like floating out through the desert, and then that's when it really clicks. So
Definitely.
Basically just get out, get outside and get and
cleanup.
see it yourself. And the more you see it, the more you'd be willing to do something about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's definitely a lot easier nowadays to go out for a walk to any kind of nature landscape and find rubbish. So, as you say, you can go anywhere to a park, or a desert, or to the beach, and you will find a difference to make.
Yeah, I was really surprised when we went to Morocco. We went into the desert for like just an overnight stay, and after like 20-30 minutes on the camels, we were in the middle of all the sand, and I saw a plastic bottle, and I thought, how can this be that you can be somewhere that's, you look around and you can't see anything but sand, but yeah, there's a plastic bottle here. It just, it's something I can't comprehend, and it really, like you say, opens your eye to it.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
And also, I guess, you know, the plastic washing up. So we were in Australia on an island off the coast of Australia, and we just like decided to find a little secret cove where, you know, no one else would go. And it was just incredible how much plastic there was on this little tiny cove that had just all washed in from the sea.
Wow.
And yeah, just such a shock.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
We want to ask, what is your best piece of advice for someone that is starting on the sustainability journey? Sometimes can be a little bit daunting, as you said. It's better not to go big. There is so much that one can do. What is your best piece of advice for someone that is starting?
I think the best is to be prepared, and that can be down to like just having the right gear. And I think a good example is like take anything. If you want to do anything, you want to, I don't know, go for a run, say, anyone can run, but if you've got like a good pair of running shoes and like the right pair of shorts, I mean, you're probably going to run better for longer and enjoy it more. Like if you want to go traveling and you've got the right gear, you've got your, you know, some reusable items, you're going to be able to do it in a more sustainable way. So, I mean,
just be prepared.
Yeah, be prepared. Like, I know we've got all kinds of stuff. I mean,
Our bag's full of sustainable gear.
What kind of things?
It's helpful. So we've got reusable bottles, reusable mugs. We've got, you know, bamboo toothbrushes, toothpaste that's in a jar. We've got lots of reusable bags, like all different sizes. We've got fold-up bags. We've got.
Yeah, I mean, it all sounds small and trivial, but it's those kind of things that you do use on a daily basis that really stack up.
Yeah. And even like now, say if we just go to the beach, we will bring our reusable bottle, we'll bring our reusable cups, we'll bring a couple of bags and just like have it all in our bag just in case we need it, because, you know, sometimes we'll go, oh, let's go, you know, to this local stall and have a drink, but then they'll automatically serve it in a plastic cup or have a straw, and they don't have any other options. So it's nice to, you know, bring your options, your own reusables, and, you know, avoid that plastic waste when on the road.
Yeah.
And how do the people react when you bring like your own cup and they haven't maybe seen it before, or what are the locals' reactions when you ask to use that instead of their plastic cups?
They're quite curious, I guess. Like, they're like, oh, why would you, like, why do you bring that? And and you can do a little like slight education there. But you know, some people, like a lot of people have been like, oh, that's actually a really good idea. And, you know, I can show my cup and be like, this will, you know, can stay hot or cold for hours. And
Even down to like one of the local sort of famous musician, his like a soca artist here, which is a style of music. And so we met him a couple of times last year, and then we always take our little hydro flask mugs with us when we go to events that he'd normally been playing at, and so we can drink out of that. And I think, was it like a month or two ago?
Yeah.
So now he's got one, and he's like promoting it, you know, like when he's up on stage and he's like drinking out of his like reusable mug, so mixing his rum and whatever they drink in there. And but it's awesome because then like you get like all these people that are watching him like on a weekly basis, you know, play his music. And now he's kind of setting an example, which is really cool.
That's awesome. It sounds like you guys are making an impact in lots of different ways. It's really cool to hear.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, having some fun along the way too.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Why did you choose the Caribbean islands?
Yeah, I mean,
I guess neither of us had been to any of the Caribbean islands. And, yeah, we were in Australia, and it was almost like we spun a globe and just picked a destination. It was just, yeah, no specific reason. It was just we were both drawn to the Caribbean and wanted to, see it. And it just was so lucky that there was some house sits available.
Yeah.
And yeah, once we got here, we just don't really want to leave.
Yeah.
And if you weren't doing house sitting, would it be quite expensive? Is the house sitting what makes it an affordable way to live there?
Yeah,
Definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can live cheaper-ish if you wanted to, but it's, I mean, not comparable to like Southeast Asia or something like that. Like, but we have a couple of little like fruit and veg stalls that we go to that are like, walking distance from here, and we can fill up basically like a whole
Like a whole
tote bag full of fruit and veg for like $10, and that'll last us
Oh, cool.
like
a
week.
or two.
Oh, cool.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Really cool.
But then, yeah, if you were coming and visiting, like, and you want to stay in a hotel,
Then it'll
like,
be really
it's
expensive.
super expensive.
Yeah. We can imagine.
Yeah. So it's, I mean, we've kind of been lucky in that we've managed to come in using house sitting as basically like the foot in the door. So we're going to try and keep going as long as we can with that.
Yeah, it's nice.
Do you have any piece of advice for someone that wants to do house sitting?
Yeah. I mean, you've got to love animals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it is house sitting, but most of the house sits are really pet sits. So you're looking after someone's dog or cat. But there's a lot out there. There's so many opportunities.
Yeah.
The best way, like we found, to get a house sit was to do one in your local area, because then you can get the reviews and references. It's almost like an Airbnb for house sitting. Like you get the reviews, and more reviews you get, the more likely you can get, the bigger, the better house sit.
Yeah.
Good.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. Yeah, because we're doing a lot of volunteering, but we're thinking now of moving to doing maybe some house sitting, so we have more time for ourselves. And we love animals as well, so that's not an issue for us. So maybe we'll have a look into that soon. We'll be joining you in the Caribbean one day.
Yeah.
There's lots available.
Yeah, there's quite a few around. You'd be surprised.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I
thank
think that's
you
everything.
for your time, guys. It has been amazing to hear you and to find out all these ways that you're inspiring so many people, and inspiring people that is also inspiring and giving an example to other people. So thank you for
Thank you.
all you're
Thanks
doing.
for having us.
Thanks so much, guys.
Oh, you're welcome.
So that was an amazing chat. Thank you guys for your time.
Yes, we hope you're as inspired by them as we are. Remember to go and follow them at the Dharma Trails on Facebook and Instagram, and they also have a blog.
So if you like this series or if you like any other of our videos, please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe to our channel to see more videos like this. We hope to see you next week.
See you next time.